Hello, it's Tristan here from Zebra Invest, and today I just want to run through a fantastic update that Property Data released for their plugin, and it also doubles up with their sourcing system. And so it's made it really simple and easy now to be able to go straight onto websites like Rightmove, Zoopla, OnTheMarket. So when you're going in and you're viewing properties and potential deals, it splashes up all the information up the right-hand side. And if you haven't already seen my other videos from YouTube and all about property data, or anything that you might be looking at how to get into property investment and actually finding and doing deals, subscribe and like my channel. But I have already gone through the plugin once before. This is a new update for it where they've updated it to make it far easier to be able to analyze a deal, work out what's going on, and to be able to quickly pinch through and work out whether it's a property worth looking at. So I'm going to head over and show you what's going on, and I'll also dive in a little bit to explain how you get it running. So we've got just a little bit this. I'll just share my screen, that's going to help. So when you look over here, you can see obviously this is the property data, and it gives you a little bit of an idea of what we're running through today. So then when we head over to property data, this is the website that you usually confronted with and you'll be coming up with. So when you look at the pricing on this site, if you haven't already signed up or used it before, personally, you'll see in a second, I'm actually signed up for the max plan. And that's because I use property data pretty much as everyday part of my life, investing in property and finding deals. So far this year, I've found, I'm just looking up there as I've got a sheet, 1, 2, 3, 4 deals through property data. So it's definitely paid for itself and it's definitely worthwhile having. But if you are trying to dabble, find new property deals or find the next ones to invest in, I'd probably say that the Pro package is probably going to be best for you. If you're out there looking for deals every day of the week, which is what I'm doing, I would say you need to go for the max plan. Personally, with the basic plan, it's just going to run out of credits far too quickly for you to get any actual use out of it. So it's worthwhile going for one of the bigger plans. And at the end of the video, what I'll do is I'll give you a discount code to get 50% off your first month, and you get a link to a free trial as well. So let's go in, log in, and show you what's going on and how this works. So once we jump in, we're just going to head into the sourcing lists. And again, I've covered this in other videos, but I've got a couple of quick fire favorites for me. So I quite like the price reduced section, the back on market, the cheap pound per square foot, and I also quite like annexes, because with annexes, you can title, split, and subdivide them. Cover that in another one. Anyway, so what we're going to do is put in my office postcode. And just go from there. So what's going to come up now is you're going to get a list of all the properties in the area, usually where they've got, they're deemed to be cheap pound per square foot. And what that means, which you'll find out in other videos, but is that it's got a large square footage and the property is being sold effectively below market value. Or say, for example, it's worth £300 a square foot, and it's being sold for £250. It's where there's a decent discount to what the property is worth. So it can be quite a neat way. For example, if you look at this 4-bedroom townhouse here, you can see, it's saying it's a really large size here. It's £270 a square foot. So the easiest way, just to point this out before I jump into the bit that's interesting on the right-hand side there, but you can turn and see that we've got 1561 times by, in the plugin, 270. So it seems to think this property should be worth around about £421,000. So that's the property, but the bit where I was more interested in is this section on the right-hand side. So here you can see this is what's replaced the little analysis page that we used to have on property data. And so it's going to give you the postcode of the property straight away, which is quite good if you want to be able to jump in, have a quick look around and find out what's going on with it. The other thing that's done recently is you can see it's got these show comps buttons. So what you can do is by clicking it, it then comes up to show you areas where the pound per square foot, sold square foot varies. And this is based on other property sales in the area. So you can then see what's been going on and where might be a slightly more lucrative area nearby. But you can see here, this is where the property is. Other properties here seem to be selling around about, you can see that there you go, £280 a square foot. So that might not actually be that great a deal, but that's just by looking in and clicking in to have a look at it. So then, if we then take a look, we can then just cross that one off and access another. You can then turn around and look at the other 4-bedroom properties in the area. Again, you can zoom in, you can see this one's on for 325, this one's on for 450, and you can then click on it, open it up, and then again you can jump in and have a look at that property. property, and it will bring up the data on that one as well. There you go. You can see what I've got planned in a short while. So that jumps in there quite neatly. And then you can see what's going on and other properties around the area. So you can get a real idea for how much this property should be worth and how much other 4-bedroom properties in the area are selling for. And look, you see 350, 400, you know, so around here, I would say, you know, based on what that's saying in the area, it might be worth saying something around about, I'm usually quite conservative, but maybe something around about 350, 375 mark. But just by doing that, rather than having a big area or just a list, you can quickly, easily work out which pockets, which areas might have better value. Again, the same thing is if you want to look for the rent, you can then, instead of showing you all around the city. So here, where it isn't able to pull up local comparables to rental properties, it's then giving you other properties in the whole area around the city and roughly what others will be achieving. So you can quickly work out how realistic it is to achieve that £1,400. Here you go. The other bit that's great with property data is you can see here it's saying roughly, you know, the annual growth on that property over the last 3 years. Obviously, we've had a real boom across the whole of the country with inflation, but also with massive lack of supply of property. And that's where last year, you know, with the lockdowns and everything else, about 100,000 new homes less were built. And so that means that the whole secondary market, the whole new buyer market is being forced into the secondary market. And that's really causing prices to move up and a lot more demand. The other bit is here you can see that whereas we've selected cheap pound per square foot, it explains what it thinks about. So it's saying, look, 20% cheaper than the average price in the area. The asking price has been reduced. And then as you come down here, you've then got the average prices for properties in the area. And in this area, there's a lot of flats, which is why the price is quite low. And then it's then telling you that it was on for 350 and it was recently reduced to 325. So the other bit is you've got this more section here. So if you want to be able to delve in even deeper, you think this is the most, Tristan, that's the most epic deal ever. That's the property that I want to buy. What you can then do is you can jump into the plot map. And so it always opens it into a nice new screen. So you can open up the plot map straight away. And that's going to show you the other properties that are in the area. You can see other ones that are flats and other properties in this area that have been up for sale. So there you go, that's 380,000. Number 11, let's have a quick look and see what that was. And you can see, just looking at the floor plan, let's have a quick look at this one. This one doesn't have the garage. They're very similar properties. And you can see actually this one is smaller because it looks like this one's had the garage converted out to it. So this one, you know, that could be £380,000 on the market. And that's just by jumping in the plot map to see what's going on. The other side that's quite interesting when you're using the plot map, I'm not going to keep banging on about this, but it's got all the other data all running down the side there as well. So what you can do, you can obviously jump into those details. You've got other bits you can do. So if you want to work out how much the comparable is going to be, what's the property going to be worth, and again, I would just click around and have a look yourself. But it's worked out how big the property is, how many bathrooms it is. Then we can just try and say at the moment it's average condition, and we can try and say I believe it's got a school garden. And you just click value, and then that's bringing all of the local data around it in together to work out what it thinks it's worth. Unfortunately, there aren't many input because it was a terrace house. Hopefully that will fix it up, and we should have a result. As you can tell, I do these videos on the fly. So there you go. It's saying 380,000, which that matches up with that other comparable just around the corner. This is using a little bit more rental data this time around to put it together. But again, you can instantly see what's going on and what you can be up to. Time machine, I haven't used this before, but basically by the looks of things, we can try and see what we think the property was worth in January 2010. There you go, we're rolling back 254,000. So there you go, that's pretty good going. So, and then as you come down, you can see there's more links, but you've got sold price, rental comparators, internal lookups, and you can also save properties. So if you want to like a property, keep that one for later, you can add that to a list. If you then want to remove it, you can then delete. And then you can then just kind of keep track of the deals of the properties that you're finding. So I've banged on about that enough to show you what the new little plugin does and how it all overlays. Oddly, all of these links have just come up on the market. So let's just give you a quick look at how it works on Rightmove and on the market and Zoopla. So let's just say, for example, I am in Portsmouth today. We're having a look there. We want any property. Portsmouth is a lovely part of the world. I'm biased. I went to university there. But you can say that we've got this lovely property. It's just come on the market with Jeffrey Dibbons. Fairly nice small little agent, and it should, once it's all the data loaded, we should have property data loaded. You should just be able to, usually as you're driving around looking at properties, this should just pop up and appear on it. And the same if we did here, we should get it just appear. Otherwise, I'll have a quick work with the developer or send a message into support. We should, again, here we go, this is what happens. You see it's the same principle, all comes up with all the data for that property, and then again you can then go around and see what it's worth. And that's quite good because, for example, 325 might be a little bit overpriced, just maybe. The other bit here is you can also take a look at the floor plan. The one thing that is sometimes worth doing is you'll see property data overlays. Rather than moving everything across, it overlays itself. So you can cross it off, close the map, and then you can just open that back up again, and then you'll be back in there. Alrighty, that's been enough about the new system. So if you do want to sign up to Property Data, as I've said, I find it incredibly useful. If you are struggling to use Property Data, go back through some of my videos. I've got some really good ones. So if you want anything from finding below market value deals, anything from finding properties where you can title split them into two, if you're looking for rent-to-rent opportunities, it's a great piece of kit to jump into. So here, if you're thinking of signing up, with this link that I've got across the bottom there, that means you can get a 14-day free trial. So you can go there, sign up, get a 14-day free trial. Then if you enter the code ZEB, which obviously is Ever Invest, but if you enter ZEB, that's going to give you 50% off your first month. So you pretty much get your first month free. As I said, I would probably sign up for the middle of the range plan or the max plan, as that's going to be the one that's going to give you the best bang for your buck at the end of the day. Hope you found this useful. If you've got any questions, drop them in the comment box below. If you haven't already liked this, please like it. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please subscribe. Cheers.